It's Monday. That means another episode of RUNTALK from our studios in Southern California. This is RUNTALK. I'm your host, Dr. Jason Karp. On today's show, we're going to give a mix of different kinds of workouts. And I got my new hat on. Every week I'm going to wear a different hat. You know those hats that they have like the fake hair that comes to the top? This is not fake. This is my real hair. I need a haircut. No haircuts during the pandemic. So this is my real hair on top here. I figured I'd wear that hat visor for today's RUNTALK. So today's show is all about different kinds of workouts, and I'll describe the workouts and how to do them. And all these workouts come from one of my best-selling books, 101 Developmental Concepts and Workouts for Cross-Country Runners. Even though I wrote the book specifically for cross-country runners and coaches, the workouts can be adapted to the track or the road or anywhere you run. But surprisingly, interestingly, this has been one of my bestseller books. So I've been very pleased about that. A lot of coaches around the country have gotten their hands on that book and trained their teams that way. So today's episode is all about different kinds of workouts. So all these workouts come from the book. I'll put a link to the book in the notes after the show, and if you want, you can go get the book. So, workout number 51 from the book. Workout number 51 is surging intervals. So when most people do interval workouts, they do them at the same pace. Like if you're doing, 400 meter reps or 800 meter reps or mile reps, most people run the reps at each lap at exactly the same pace. So if you do it on the road, maybe they'll set their GPS for quarter miles or half miles, and they run the same pace throughout the interval workout. And that's usually the way it's done, because you got to get used to running at the right pace and holding that pace for the whole time, and that's normally a good way to do it. However, in terms of racing strategy and what happens when you're in the context of a race, most races are not run at an even pace. If you're really trying to race people rather than just run for time, if you're really trying to race people, most races don't happen at an even pace the entire way. And so it's good to practice that. So one of the workouts is what I call surging intervals, where you put on surges during the reps. So for example, if you were to do like 800 meter reps, then each 200 meters, if you do this on a track, it's great to do this stuff on a track because it's marked every 100 meters, so you can really plan out how you're going to do the workout and pick up the pace. So if you're doing, say, 800 meter reps, then maybe every 200 meters you can pick up the pace. And so that you're finishing much faster than when you started. So you're not starting slow. It's still a hard rep, but you're surging throughout the rep. You're getting faster and faster and faster throughout each rep. And it's an exhausting way to do it, but it really prepares you for the situations that are going to happen in a race. So for example, if you run an 800 meter workout, then every 200 meters you pick up the pace. Or if you're doing mile reps, then maybe every 400 meters you pick up the pace. So you get faster and faster and faster throughout each rep. But you're still not finishing all out, because then the workout would end after only one rep. You still want to be able to get through the whole workout. So this still requires pacing. So say you were doing a workout at VO2 Max pace, then maybe you start out a little bit slower than VO2 Max for one lap, then you go maybe at VO2 Max for the next lap, and then a little bit faster than VO2 Max pace for the final lap. If you're doing, say you're doing 1,200 meter reps, then you can break it up that way, or whatever works. I mean, you can figure this out on your own. But the point is that you would be picking up the pace throughout each rep, rather than running each rep at a consistent pace the entire time. So that's one workout, surging intervals, to practice the kinds of training, the kinds of racing that happen, the kinds of things that happen when you're in the context of a race. Another workout is done in the context of a group or a team. This is workout number 7 from the book. Handicap threshold run. So the way the handicap run works is that the slower runners start first. So if you're in a group situation, if you're doing a group workout, everyone's going to run the workout at their threshold pace. The purpose is to train threshold. But in the context of a group, so that everyone can end up running together or doing the workout together, the slower runners start first. And then based on the time difference in threshold between the slower runner and the next runner and the next runner after them, so the fastest runners will start last, whatever the time difference is, that's when the next person starts. So say somebody's threshold is, I'm just going to do some quick math in my head. Say someone's threshold is 7-minute pace, and another runner's threshold is 6:40 pace. It's going to be a 20-second difference per mile. So you would multiply that 20-second difference per mile times however many miles the workout's going to be. So if it's a 3-mile threshold run, then you do 20 seconds times 3 miles, that's a minute. So that means the next runner would start 1 minute behind the first runner, and so on. So if you have a group of 10 people, based on the differences in their threshold pace, you multiply that difference by the number of miles of the workout, and so you stagger when people start. So the point here is that if everyone runs at the correct threshold pace, which you hope that they do, they execute the workout properly, then everybody will finish the run at exactly the same time. And so over the course of the run, the faster runners are slowly but surely catching the slower runners, and this also gives a chance for the slower runners to be leading, which is something that they never usually get the opportunity to do. So it's a great workout to do a threshold run in the context of a group or a team situation where the slower runners get to lead the workout and the faster runners get to spend time chasing the slower runners so that everyone finishes at the exact same time. So it's a great way to do a threshold workout in the context of a team or a group. So I call that the handicap run because you're handicapping it. For the slower runners will start first, and then the faster runners will start at increments of time based on the time difference in threshold between the slower runners and the faster runners multiplied by how many miles the workout is. So that's a great run. The next workout, I made a list of the workouts I wanted to talk about today, so I'm looking at my list. Workout number 8 from the book is threshold serial runs. So this is kind of a little bit of a twist on threshold intervals. There's multiple ways to do threshold workouts. You can do it as a straight continuous tempo run. You can do it as an interval workout where you break it up into reps and then have a short recovery in between the reps. Or you can do what I call serial runs, where they're runs a little bit shorter than a normal length tempo run, but you do it as an interval workout basically, but you're doing them as runs. So not the reps aren't too short, but they're not as long as a regular straight up tempo run. So basically you're taking the tempo run, breaking up into shorter segments, but not as short as you would do reps. So for example, you could do 2 to 4 times 15 minutes, or if you think in terms of miles and kilometers, you could do reps of 2 miles or reps of 5K, and then do multiple reps of that longer distance. Instead of going like on a 5-mile tempo run, maybe you do a 2 or 3 mile tempo run, and then you do 2 or 3 or 4 of those in one workout. So that also is a very demanding workout because of the duration, because you're accumulating a lot of volume in that workout at that pace. So that's another great workout, the threshold serial runs. Serial as in SERIAL, not the cereal that I always eat for breakfast. I had cereal this morning for breakfast. That's a different kind of cereal. Serial means a continuous, a continuous rep, a series of these longer reps, serials. Okay, so workout number 20 from the book, the VO2 Max Pyramid. So most people when they do a workout, they'll do the same distance. Maybe they'll do 800-meter reps or 1,200-meter reps or mile reps or 400-meter reps. Another great way to do these different kinds of workouts is to change the duration or the distance. And so you could do this as a pyramid. So for example, if you're going to do a VO2 Max Pyramid, maybe start with 800 meters, go 800 meters, 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters, and then work your way back down, 1,000 meters, 800 meters. So you start out at a shorter distance, you work up to a longer distance, and then you work your way back down. So you make a pyramid. And then if you wanted to, you could repeat that pyramid and do 2 pyramids in the context of one workout. That would be really hard. So again, one example is 800,000, 1,200,000, 800 at VO2 max pace with a 1-to-1 or slightly less than 1 work-to-rest ratio. So however much time it takes, say you do 3 minutes for the 800, then you take 3 minutes recovery. Say you did 3:45 for the 1,000, then you take 3 minutes and 45 seconds for recovery. And then if you do 1200, say you do, I'm trying to do the math in my head, 415 or whatever it comes out to be, 430, that'd be another 45 seconds. So 430, then you take 4.5 minutes recovery. So whatever time it takes you for each of these reps, or whatever amount of time it takes you, then you take that equal or slightly less than equal to that time as recovery before you do the next rep. Okay, so that's the VO2 Max Pyramid. Really good workout. Workout 31, the VO2 Max Anaerobic Capacity Mix. Now we're going to mix. Oh, Christopher, I'm trying to read questions as I'm doing it. It's fine, stop me. So the book title is 101 Developmental Concepts and Workouts for Cross-Country Runners. This book came out a while ago. I think it was 2010 this book came out, but it's been very popular. I didn't expect it to be so popular, but it's been very popular, so I'm very happy about that. So 101 Developmental Concepts and Workouts for Cross-Country Runners. So let's get back to the workout. So workout number 31 is VO2 Max Anaerobic Capacity Mix. So again, this is preparation for a race. When you're in a race, things don't always go smoothly. It's not consistent pace all the time. And at the end of the race, you're going to have to try to get used to picking up the pace. If you watch the best runners in the world, their fastest running comes over the last 400 meters. Even when they're racing a 10K, they're able to run faster at the end of the race when they're really racing each other to get to the finish line first. So the way you would do this workout, you would do a few reps of whatever distance you choose to do, 800 meters, 1,000 meters, do a few reps at VO2 max pace, and then after you get that done, then you add on a few reps at anaerobic capacity pace, which for most good runners is approximately mile race pace. If you're a really good runner, it may be a little bit faster than your mile race pace. What's going to work on anaerobic capacity? So think of the anaerobic workouts that you do, 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meter reps at mile race pace or faster. And then think of the VO2 max workouts you do, 800 meters, 1,000 meters, and then you're going to combine them. So you do a few reps of whatever distance you choose to do, 800 meters, 1,000 meters, do a few reps at VO2 max pace, followed by a few reps of a shorter distance, so maybe 300 or 400 meters at anaerobic capacity pace. And then following the VO2 max pace, again, you take a 1-to-1 or less than 1 work-to-rest ratio. So if you're going to do 3-minute reps, say the 800s, I'm just doing the math easy in my head. If you do 800-meter reps in 3 minutes each, then take 2.5 to 3 minutes jog recovery. And then when it's time to do the anaerobic capacity, then you take a little bit longer. Then you can take like a 1-to-2 work-to-rest ratio because it's much more intense. So say you would do 400s in 80 seconds, then you would take 2 minutes and 40 seconds for jog recovery. Okay, so you combine the two paces in the workout. You do the VO2 max pace first, do that for a few reps, get a little tired, and then on top of that, you put a few reps of the anaerobic capacity, the glycolysis types of workouts, and then you take a little bit longer recovery in between each rep. Okay, so one example, I'm just reading here from the book, what I wrote in the book. Run 3 to 4 times 800 to 1,000 meters at VO2 max pace, plus 4 to 6 times 400 meters at mile race pace. Okay, with a 1-to-1 work-to-rest ratio during the VO2 max portion, and a 1-to-2 work-to-rest ratio during the anaerobic capacity portion of the workout. Okay, so it's a very good workout. It gets you used to running faster on tired legs, so that when you're in the context of a race, you can call upon anaerobic metabolism toward the end of the race. Okay, workout number 37 from the book, Hill Accelerators. So this is a really great workout for races that are going to take place on hills, or certainly for cross-country runners. Run a hill, run a pretty steep hill, and then when you get to the top, you're going to accelerate off the, from the top of the hill. So for example, run multiple reps, like somewhere around 5, 6, 7, 8 reps of a 200 to 400 meter hill, and then you run the bottom of the hill at race pace effort, and then you accelerate the last 50 meters or so to get to the top of the hill, and then 100 meters off the top of the hill, when it's a flat portion, you accelerate that portion, and then you jog down the hill as recovery. Okay, so find a hill that's maybe 200, 300, 400 meters long. That'll take somewhere from about 45 seconds to a minute and a half to cover. You start off at whatever your race pace is. If you're training for like a 5K race, then start off at 5K race pace, and then as you start to get close to the top of the hill, start accelerating. So about the last 50 meters or so of the hill, you accelerate up the last portion of the hill, and then when you get to the top of the hill and it flattens out, run the next 100 meters, accelerate over that 100 meters. Okay, so it's a very good workout to practice breaking other people on the hill, because most people run hills, they're like exhausted by the time they get to the top, and it's very hard to accelerate when you get to the top of the hill. So you practice that, and you can totally break somebody if someone's running next to you on a hill. This is a great way to practice breaking somebody during the hill. Okay, so run your normal race pace for whatever that distance race you're training for. Run your normal race pace for most of the hill, and then when you get to 50 meters from the top, start really pushing it, hammering, accelerate up that hill, and then when you get to the top, accelerate off the top of the hill on the flat portion, and accelerate for another 100 meters off the top of the hill. Okay, very good workout. It's hard. I used to do this stuff, during cross-country season to practice hill running. I mean, it's a very difficult workout, but boy, when you get into the race, you've already experienced that in training. You've already gotten used to what it's going to be like to be tired at the top of the hill. Great practice for hill workout. One of the best hill workouts you can do is these hill accelerators. And then the last workout I'm going to share with you today, maybe we'll do this episode another time with more workouts, but I don't want to overwhelm you. The last good workout that I used to do when I was in college, I learned this from a college coach, is the tee to green workout on a golf course. So it's a fartlek, tee to green fartlek. You run a golf course, just make sure that there's nobody hitting balls when you do this workout. But you run on a golf course, maybe as the sun goes down when there's nobody out on the golf. There's a golf course right near where I live, and I do this workout often on the golf course. There's nobody on the golf course. I have the entire course to myself. It's perfect. So I suggest you do this workout when there's no one on the golf course. Do a tee to green fartlek, where you run hard between the tee and the green, and then your recovery jog is between the green and the next tee, which, if you're familiar with golf, there's not always a lot of room between the green and the next tee, so you don't have a lot of recovery time. And then depending on if it's a par 3 or par 4 or par 5, the distance that you're picking up the pace will vary throughout the entire golf course. So run the entire golf course, or you could do maybe only 9 holes. I wouldn't suggest going all 18 the first time out doing this, because that'd be 18 reps. That'd be hard. So, pick maybe a few holes that you do this on, or if you're really experienced at this, then you can do the whole golf course and do a tee to green fartlek, where you run hard between the tee, where you tee off, to the green where the hole is, and then you jog from the green to the next tee, and then you just weave your way throughout the entire golf course that way. It's a great way to do a fartlek. And it's a lot of fun. You're out there by yourself or with a group of people, and you're running in the middle of the fairways, and I love doing this workout. It's a lot of fun to do this workout, and especially with the undulations of a golf course. If you're on a golf course that has hills, so it's a really fun workout to do this, and it passes by pretty quickly because you're going on different holes of the golf course, and so it's fun, it's scenic, and it's a great workout. Very tough, another tough workout, but it's a great workout to do. So there's a handful of workouts that I wanted to share with you today to do something different than the standard workouts that people do. Get a little bit more creative. Always remember what the purpose of the workout is, but within that purpose, you can get creative as to what the workouts are. So next week I'll have a different hat, and every week I end the show with some thought, something I wanted to share with you. And so today's thought I want to share with you is that be patient. Because patience is something that a lot of humans don't have. I know myself, I'm a classic New Yorker. I grew up in New York and New Jersey, and I don't really have a lot of patience. But one thing that running has taught me is that to get results, you really have to be patient. That results don't come quickly. That real big results take a lot of time. That's true with running. That's true in business. That's true in relationships. That's true in everything that we do. Is that the results that really have meaning take time to develop. They take time to become available to us. And so use your running. I always try to link this back to the lessons we learned from running. Use your running to recognize the value of patience, and how if you spend time doing the work that is necessary and you focus on the process of the work instead of focusing on the outcome of that work, if you focus on the process and be patient about that process, then you'll ultimately achieve what you want, or at least get a little closer to achieving what you want. We can't always control the outcome, but we can control the process that gets us to the outcome that we hope to achieve. So be patient, especially in this time now where we're all anxiously awaiting this pandemic to be over already. Just be patient and learn that from the running and the training that you do. And these workouts will be very helpful to help you do that. So thank you again for coming. Again, last plug, it's my show. I can plug my book as much as I want. Get the book. There's 101 different concepts and workouts for runners. And even though I specifically wrote the book for cross-country runners and coaches, all the workouts can be adapted to anywhere you do them. So I urge you to get the book. There's lots of great workouts in the book. You can get it on my website, run-fit.com, or of course it's on Amazon, where all books are sold these days. So you're welcome, Brock. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and have a great week. And I will see you next week for another episode of Run Talk from our studios in Southern California. This is Run Talk. I'm your host, Dr. Jason Karp. See you later.